Hey traders and coders, in this lesson I want to explain to you how the tuples functionality works in PineScript. So tuples, or tuples, I don't know how you pronounce this, to be honest. I call it tuples, it's probably tuples. Anyway, it doesn't matter what this thing does. You'll rarely use it, first of all, in your scripts. Not many functions return a tuples data type, but I better show you how to use them, just in case you do run into them. So I've mentioned how this works in the custom function lesson in this course, but I wanted to have a separate lesson, just a brief lesson on this subject to cover this subject without the distraction of other things going on in the lesson. So let me show you how tuples work. So I'm going to create a tuples function here with no parameters, and it's just going to return three values, A, B, and C. We'll set A to 1, B to 2, C to 3. And then we will return these three values as a tuple. So now if I save the code, this should compile without any problems. There we go. So now, if I want to access this function's data, the data that this function returns, I need to do it like this. So access tuples. Here we'll say generate tuples. So to access these values, I need to use the square bracket, which we normally use for the historical operator. In this case, we're using it to access these tuples, or it's sort of like an array. It's like an array of values, a collection of values. And to do this, I can create three variables, A, B, and C, and they will be set to the tuples function. Now if I save the code, it should work fine. And now I can plot A, B, and C onto my chart. And if I bring my code down, you can see up here that we have 1, 2, and 3 drawing onto the chart. And that is how we access tuples. So that's pretty much how tuples work. I'll show you one last example of a tuple, a practical example. And that's if you use the MACD in your script, the MACD function actually returns a tuple. So if I try to get the MACD value from the TA namespace, and I get MACD, you can actually see here that it lists what it returns, and it's 3 float series. But anyway, let's put in our close, our fast length. It can be anything. I'm just going to put 12, 12, 12 in here. Now if I save the code, we'll get an error because this is actually returning a tuple. So if I comment these out and try to plot the MACD, we'll get an error here that says syntax error, variables of array type are not supported. What we actually need to do here is get our 3 values. So in this case, we need our MACD line, our signal line, and our hist line. And so we need to put these all onto their own line of code, separated by commas, and put square brackets around them. And then we can set this to the TA.MACD function. And now we can plot the MACD line, the signal line, and the hist line, save the code, and this works just fine. Now we are getting 0, 0, 0 up here, so let me just throw on the MACD really quickly. I don't use the MACD in my own trading, so I don't know what the default values usually are. Let's go with 12, 26, and 9. Save the code, and there we go. Now we're getting actual MACD values plotting onto the chart using tuples. Anyway, that's it for this brief lesson on tuples. Now you know how they work if you encounter something like a MACD function that requires the use of this sort of syntax. Take care, and I'll speak with you in the next lesson.